All right, today we're going to talk about a simple but really powerful strategy. It's a mental model that can totally change how you approach, well, pretty much everything. Let's get right into it.
So here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the big idea itself. Then we'll break down what fail fast actually means. After that, we'll get into the logic of why it's so effective, see how it applies to real life, your life, and then wrap it all up by reframing failure as a legit strategy for success.
Okay, first up. Sometimes the biggest ideas are wrapped up in the smallest packages. Just a couple of words that can completely flip your perspective. And the one we're looking at today, it's a perfect example of that.
And here it is, just 2 words, fail fast. It sounds wrong, doesn't it? I mean, who wants to fail? But that's exactly what makes it so interesting. It forces you to question everything you thought you knew about success and failure.
This idea really blew up after it was championed by innovators like Elon Musk. Now, fail fast has been a kind of mantra in Silicon Valley for a while now, but hearing it from a guy who builds rockets, a field where failure can be pretty catastrophic, that really makes you stop and think about how important it must be.
So, let's be super clear about something. This is not about trying to fail on purpose or just being reckless. That's a huge misunderstanding. The real meaning is way smarter and more strategic than that.
Here's the core of it right here. The whole idea is that if you're on a path that's doomed to fail, it's way, way better to find that out as early as you possibly can. Because the sooner you know, the more time and energy you have to bounce back, learn something, and find a path that actually works.
You can really think of it as this simple 3-step loop. First, you got to be honest with yourself and identify that something isn't working. Second, you figure out why. What's the lesson here? And third, you pivot. You make a change, fast, before the costs, whether that's your time, your money, or just your sanity, get too high.
So you might be wondering, why is this so important? Why not just try to avoid failing in the first place? Well, the logic behind it all comes down to a pretty simple and kind of humbling fact of life. And this quote just nails it. For pretty much any big goal you have, there are a million ways to mess it up, and maybe only a handful of ways to get it right. So success isn't about being a genius who picks the right path on the first shot, it's about being smart enough to get off the wrong paths as quickly as possible.
This chart says it all, doesn't it? Look at that giant red area. For any goal, almost all the paths you could take are dead ends. Your job isn't to magically land on that tiny blue sliver right away. Your real job is to get through all that red as efficiently as you can. Every second you spend on a failing path is a second you're not spending looking for the one that works.
Okay, so this isn't just a strategy for startups trying to build the next big app. This is a powerful tool for navigating our actual lives, day in and day out.
Seriously, think about it. Have you ever stayed in a college major you hated, or a relationship that you knew wasn't right, or a job that just drained the life out of you? We do it because we've already put so much time in. But that's a trap. Failing fast means having the guts to say, you know what, this isn't working, and making a change before you sink even more of your life into it.
So really, what this all comes down to is a complete mindset shift. We need to stop thinking about failure as this horrible thing to be avoided at all costs and start seeing it as a process that we can actually manage.
And this table just lays it out perfectly. The old view says failure is shameful. It's the end of the road, a total waste of time. But the fail fast view, it sees failure as strategic. It's a chance to learn something. It's not a waste of time, it's an efficient pivot. It basically turns failure from a stop sign into a compass.
So, what's the big takeaway? Thinking this way, adopting this fail fast idea, it's a practical tool. It gives you clarity about what's actually working, it gives you efficiency so you stop wasting your precious time, and honestly, it gives you courage to go after big things because you know that any failure is just collecting data for your next move.
And that brings us right here to our final thought. This isn't just some interesting idea to think about, it's a question for you right now. Think about your life, your work, your goals, your relationships. Is there a path you're on right now that deep down you know isn't the right one? What failing path can you get off of today?